A new federal bill wants to punish medical schools for talking about racism. Naturally, they named it the Educate Act, but in praxis, it defunds the truth and calls it freedom. Welcome back to Theocracy Watch, where we track how Christian overreach is rewriting policy to fit their theology. This is Theocracy Watch. So H.R. 3518, courtesy of Rep. Greg Murphy, a Republican from North Carolina and a urologist, apparently, so a piss boy, aims to pull federal funding from any medical school that dares to say racism impacts health outcomes. And the bill is aggressive. It would cut off aid, research grants, and student loans to programs that require diversity statements, keep DEI offices, teach about oppression-based frameworks, or even suggest that race affects medical outcomes. The people behind this bill swear they're defending merit. Sure, if that means keeping marginalized students and punishing professors for mentioning bias. Education should be about opening doors, but we're seeing the opposite here and pretending there's academic integrity. Supporters of the bill say they're defending the free speech. Weird though, free speech never seems to apply to students who talk about medical racism or professors who bring up health disparities. The folks pushing the bill aren't just after buzzwords. They're coming for the entire infrastructure that supports students and saves lives. If a med school acknowledges that race impacts health outcomes, it could lose federal funding, and that includes research, grants, student loans, even accreditation. We're talking about cutting aid to places like Meharry and Howard, schools that actually produce Black doctors, all because they won't pretend that racism is imaginary. Black students make up just 11% of med school applicants, and now they want to defund the very programs designed to change that. For instance, if a med school teaches that race impacts outcomes, like the fact that Black women are 3 times more likely to die during childbirth, babies are 2 times more likely to die, they could lose federal funding. And the cost isn't just academic. Racial health disparities already cost the U.S. over $320 billion a year. This bill would make that worse on purpose. So no, this is not about protecting merit. The cold hard fact is this won't improve healthcare, and that is by design. They're not just scared of equity, they're scared of losing their power, because deep down, they know what accountability looks like, and they're terrified of being treated the way they've treated everyone else. Architects of Project 2025 are manufacturing silence, one stripped curriculum at a time. And if they pull it off, we don't just lose facts, we'll lose lives. So until next time, keep asking questions and stay curious.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I very much appreciate it.
Stripping DEI. You can't tell the truth because it is a statistic that Black women die 3 times more during pregnancy, but you wouldn't be able to say that's because of the imbalance in healthcare. You would not be allowed to say that.
Yeah. And there really are things that there are differences, physiological differences between, I want to say, the races that require different medications and stuff.
Yeah.
I'll just use Black men and diabetes medications. I believe they have special medications, just stuff like that. Thank you, watching Dr. House. That sort of thing. But there are real things out there that racist approach to healthcare will hurt people.
Mm-hmm. Like for instance, there's like certain things that Doppler, I'm not sure what it's called, but it helps find veins for phlebotomists, right? And it's more difficult for that equipment to detect through, the starts with the M, the word for the melanin. Sorry, my brain.
Oh, I see.
To see through the melanin. And it's just simple things, of that nature. But then it can go just as deep as you said, like, to blood pressure or medicine or what have you. So ignoring the facts will, again, create even more imbalance and cost us in the long end. It already is costing us $320 billion. And that's simply because we're covering our eyes to the fact that not only is there bias, and even with women, right? There's so many things about our body we still don't know yet because everything focuses around, white male biology.
Right.
And those disparities will just continue to increase if we ignore it. But pretty soon they'll probably say, oh, you can't, say things about just women's health specifically. That will be considered racist too, and you might get your funding pulled.
That's true. That's true. I would actually, I would encourage you to go if you, you say these things about the differences between health and people of color and people, men and women, and just men and women. There are different physiological things that we need to address that they wouldn't want to address. They wouldn't want to, there's a lot of science that has not been done on women.
Mm-hmm.
They just do a general study on this, and then they don't, I don't know. I was kind of hoping we were moving in the right direction. And then guess what?
We kind of were.
It's so hard to see the backslide like that. I mean, yeah. I thought we were getting somewhere in the 90s, and then we backslid.
Yeah, it was like an uphill battle. But I felt like we were getting to a place that was much better, and people's eyes were being open. And now I just feel like it's all downhill, and not in a good way.
Then I thought we were getting better under Obama, and then we just kind of slid back.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Me
like
too.
A rebound and something.
There's this social societal rebound with this right-wing MAGA crap. It's complicated.
It is, but I think you're right. Like that's why they're targeting all these different agencies, because that's how they will add fuel to that fire.
Yeah.
They'll be able to silence us. We won't be able to say boo without becoming a terrorist, or we'll be the ones considered a racist or anti-Semitic. So we literally lose our voices, or else we'll lose our job. Maybe our friends, our reputation will be ruined.